Could your kindness be silently harming you? Kindness is a universally celebrated quality, often associated with compassion and generosity. It's a trait that lights up communities and fosters trust among individuals. However, when kindness isn't tempered with discernment, it can slide into less desirable territory. Imagine kindness like a river. In balance, it nourishes and supports the landscape around it. But when the river overflows, it can erode its banks, destroy paths, and flood the plains. Similarly, excessive kindness, especially without boundaries, can lead to personal and professional pitfalls. Understanding the balance is crucial. It's not about withholding kindness, but about recognizing that its excess can transform it from a strength into a weakness. This nuanced understanding helps in maintaining both personal integrity and genuine relationships. Let's explore how excessive kindness can sometimes backfire. Ever felt taken advantage of because of your kind nature? Kindness is a virtue that can sometimes backfire, especially when it turns into a vulnerability that others exploit. Let's delve into how overly kind individuals often find themselves trapped in situations where their generosity is taken for granted. Consider the workplace, where the line between being helpful and being overburdened is often blurred. Imagine a colleague, let's call him John. John is always ready to lend a hand, staying late, picking up extra tasks, and never saying no. Initially, this earns him praise. However, as time passes, his co-workers begin to expect this level of dedication as the norm, not the exception. Tasks begin to pile up on John's desk because everyone knows he won't refuse. This isn't teamwork, it's exploitation of his kindness. What's worse, John's own projects suffer, his stress levels skyrocket, and his work-life balance is thrown out of whack. Now, let's shift to personal relationships. Picture Sarah, who is always there for her friends, no matter what time of day. She listens to their problems, offers her resources, and puts their needs ahead of her own. Over time, Sarah finds that her friends call her only when they need something. Her kindness is mistaken for weakness, and her willingness to help is exploited. She feels drained, realizing that these relationships are one-sided, fundamentally lacking in reciprocity. In both scenarios, John and Sarah's admirable qualities are manipulated by others for personal gain. This exploitation can lead to burnout, a sense of betrayal, and even a questioning of one's own worth. It's crucial to set boundaries and recognize when generosity is being abused. Understanding the signs of exploitation can be subtle. It starts with feeling disproportionately drained or noticing that the give and take in any relationship has become grossly imbalanced. It's about realizing that not everyone has your best interests at heart, and that your generosity should not lead to your detriment. Recognizing exploitation is the first step toward preventing it. When does kindness to others turn into unkindness to oneself? This question probes deeply into the core of our intentions and actions. At the heart of this inquiry lies the concept of self-respect, an essential component of one's identity and psychological well-being. When we speak of kindness, the imagery that often arises is one of generosity and selflessness. However, there's a darker side to this virtue that's seldom discussed but profoundly impactful. Imagine a scenario where one consistently puts others' needs before their own, not out of genuine desire, but due to a compulsion to be seen as kind. Over time, this behavior can lead to an erosion of self-respect. It begins subtly, perhaps with neglecting one's own needs or silencing one's voice to avoid conflict. Gradually, this self-neglect becomes a norm, and the individual's own desires and needs fade into the background, overshadowed by the needs of others. This loss of self-respect manifests in several ways. It might be the quiet acceptance of being treated less than one deserves, or the internalized belief that one's own needs are less important. The repercussions are profound, affecting not just the individual's mental health, but also their relationships, and their ability to assert themselves in various aspects of life. The importance of setting boundaries becomes evident here. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out, but rather guidelines that help us maintain a healthy self-respect and ensure mutual respect in relationships. They are an affirmation of one's self-worth and are crucial in preventing the loss of self-esteem. When kindness is extended without these boundaries, it becomes unbalanced and unhealthy. It shifts from being a mutual exchange of respect and generosity to a one-sided sacrifice where the only outcome is the diminishment of one's sense of self. Thus, it is essential to recognize that true kindness does not require losing oneself in the process. Maintaining self-respect is not about being selfish, it's about recognizing that you are as important as anyone else. In the grand tapestry of human interactions, your thread is just as vital. Maintaining self-respect is crucial, even in acts of kindness. Is your kindness leading you to martyrdom? In the exploration of the darker shades of kindness, one particularly shadowy corner is the martyrdom effect. This phenomenon occurs when individuals start to believe that enduring suffering for the sake of being kind is not merely necessary, but noble. It's a seductive thought, isn't it? That our pain, our sacrifices, they mean something profound. But let's delve a little deeper into this mindset and its implications. At its core, the martyrdom effect is about identity. For some, being kind becomes so intertwined with who they are that they feel compelled to go to great lengths, often ignoring their own needs. This self-sacrificing behavior is frequently celebrated, seen as the hallmark of a truly altruistic person. However, this applause can be dangerously misleading. Psychologically, consistently putting others before oneself without boundaries can lead to chronic stress. Imagine the strain of constantly weighing others' needs as more significant than your own. Over time, this imbalance doesn't just deplete emotional reserves, it can manifest physically. Stress might start as feeling tired and over time can turn into something as severe as burnout, where one feels emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausted. Socially, the repercussions are equally concerning. Relationships can become one-sided. When you're always the giver, it doesn't just create an imbalance, it can foster resentment, both in yourself, feeling unappreciated and drained, and in others, who might start to see your kindness as a given, not as a gift. Moreover, this constant self-sacrifice can diminish life satisfaction. Happiness often comes from a healthy give and take, from the joy of mutual support and kindness. If you're always on the giving end, where's the space for you to receive, to feel supported and valued? It's crucial to remember that true kindness is balanced. It respects the giver as much as the receiver. It understands that self-care is not selfish but essential. True kindness should not come at the cost of your own well-being. What would a Stoic do with the virtue of kindness? In the Stoic philosophy, kindness isn't merely a gesture but an expression of virtue that must be approached with wisdom and moderation. Stoics, you see, are not guided by the mere impulse to please others or to be seen as good, but by the deeper intention of doing what is right and beneficial, both for others and oneself. Consider the idea that not all acts of kindness are helpful or even truly kind when viewed through a broader lens. Stoics would argue that true kindness must be purposeful and based on a clear understanding of the consequences. It's not kindness if it leads to harm, dependence, or enables harmful behavior in others. This is where the wisdom of moderation comes into play. For instance, helping a friend is undoubtedly kind, but constantly rescuing them from their responsibilities may prevent them from learning crucial lessons or developing resilience. A Stoic would see this type of kindness as ultimately unhelpful and perhaps even detrimental. They would strive to assist in a way that supports growth rather than dependency. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches the importance of maintaining one's own moral and mental health while being kind. It's an understanding that one cannot pour from an empty cup. If acts of kindness begin to erode one's own well-being, they cease to be virtuous. Stoics emphasize self-care not as an act of selfishness, but as a necessary foundation for being able to offer genuine help to others. Thus, when considering whether an act of kindness is wise, Stoics would reflect on whether it aligns with their own values and virtues, and whether it truly serves the well-being of the recipient. This reflection ensures that kindness is not a mere reaction to the expectations of others, but a deliberate and thoughtful choice. Stoicism, therefore, does not diminish the value of kindness, but elevates it to an act of moral significance that requires discernment and balance. It teaches us that wise kindness is balanced kindness. Balancing kindness is an art. In our exploration today, we've delved deep into the darker aspects of excessive kindness. We've seen how it can become a hidden cost to one's well-being, leading to exploitation, loss of self-respect, and even a form of martyrdom. These pitfalls highlight the necessity for balance. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on wisdom and self-control, offers invaluable guidance here. It teaches us that kindness must not be a mere impulse, but a deliberate action. It should stem from a place of strength and self-awareness, not from a desire for approval or fear of confrontation. To practice kindness wisely, it's crucial to set boundaries. This doesn't make one less kind. Rather, it ensures that our acts of kindness come from a place of genuine generosity and not from an obligation or expectation. We must be mindful of when and how we choose to be kind, ensuring it aligns with our values and doesn't compromise our dignity. Harness your kindness wisely and protect your inner peace.